the Prime Minister saying that I give a free play to my generals. They will decide when to take the action, how to take the action, where to take the action. This is a statement from the sources that has come out. And the meeting took place, I think, 3 or 4 hours ago, and there is a CCS, sir, tomorrow. So, my question to you is, sir, what is the Indian challenge and what are the options we have on table, sir?
Good evening, Karthike. Thank you for inviting me to your show. I think
Pleasure,
there's been a lot of water in the last 1 week that has flown since Pahalgam. Firstly, I think what happened was absolutely a ghastly act which cannot be forgiven. And I think there has to be adequate punishment given to Pakistan for being behind this proxy war. As you said, what are the options India exists? The kinetic and the non-kinetic. And in the non-kinetic, we've already seen the expelling, the Indus Water Treaty, the reciprocal action of abrogation or wanting to break away from the Shimla Accord from Pakistan. And in the kinetic domain, I think the rules of engagement have been beautifully spelled out by the Prime Minister. He has said that what requires to be done in the military sphere, I leave it to the military specialist. Of course, it would require political clearance because I think two things have to be very clear. Whatever happens, as we have seen it in the Russia-Ukraine war, Pakistan may be weaker than us as far as our capabilities in the conventional domain is there. But let me also assure you, it has the capacity to react. So I think if we do take any military action in the kinetic domain, which I will talk about just now, but there is a possibility of a reaction which might be a contact one, and that is where India needs to be prepared right across the front on all three services, looking at all aspects of what can happen in case he reacts in a particular manner. And that I'm sure the people today in the chair would be carrying out necessary wargaming, reading the signals as it exists on the ground, and be able to take an assessment. So how is the kinetic impact going to take place? It can be in two planes. It has to be firstly the standoff weapons to be utilized and utilization of contact warfare. I think the first response should be, if it has to come into the military domain, would actually happen with standoff weapons. I think we should look at military targets or multiple targets which are in such a manner that it affects the deep state and the polity. Hitting these tactical targets which continues, whether it's firing across the border, looking at these launch pads, looking at these terrorist hubs, which are actually temporary camps. But what is supporting this infrastructure is where we need to hit them, where it shows. The point in this standoff attack has to be this time, which actually came under a little bit of controversy in Balakot, is to make sure that it has visible marks on ground and we have irrefutable evidence that this has happened, that we can't fall into the narrative which Pakistan tried to play as far as Balakot is concerned. So that will be the first stage. And then it depends on how he reacts. And today, I think the option exists that if he does react in the contact domain, which could be then attritional, well, we have areas where we have advantages on ground. I would recommend that it would be our endeavor to try and retain it within the realms of J&K. But if it does move out into the other sphere, well, we'll have to be prepared for that. I think that we can't legislate the action, and I'm sure the powers that are today in chair will be able to take necessary action to ensure that this happens in the defensive plane. And we do not lose out where our sensitivities or vulnerabilities exist. So that's how I think the whole thing would pan out.
Okay, General.
We open to questions later.
Okay, yeah. General Nimborkar, your opening comments, sir.
Yeah, about going on to the same thing as Lieutenant General Arun had said. Firstly, whatever he said, I totally ditto, because in any case, he is my professional guru. So there's no question of but however, as I said, I can only say that firstly, we are very well prepared as compared to even 2018. Subsequently added all three services together. And you know, and you already quoted CIPRI on that. Also in-house, I feel that the wherewithal, for example, the ammunition, which we always face that there may be a problem. I don't think there is any problem. So to that extent, we are totally ready. And why I say this ammunition section, I was dealing with this aspect till 2018. And I'm very confident the steps the government has taken will not be found wanting anywhere. And therefore, I think what the PM has given the message to the armed forces, I think we'll be able to carry out whatever action we take in a very befitting manner. However, Now, what contact points, where to go? I don't think it will be worthwhile to mention, because it will not be correct on our part to say, because there are different things, and inadvertently, if we give out something and it does happen in actuality that option is exercised, then I think it will be very poor show for the Indian Armed Forces. So therefore, I think we'll stop at that. Only we can say that, yes, we are very well prepared. I dare say that Pakistan is actually very low in the, may not be in the readiness, but as far as the equipment is concerned, and they have to depend on various other sources to get their equipment right.